This is Billy with BLOQspace, and I'm back with another Lisk Academy. So we're moving right along, and now we're into the next section, which is blockchain use cases. And this section here obviously cannot be done in one video. There are countless use cases for blockchain, and basically in this section here, very briefly, it's going to talk about the core fundamental beginning of the use case for blockchain, and that is talking about Bitcoin. And what Bitcoin replicated or sought to do was to use a fiat currency in digital form, but without the need to be validated by a centralized bank or government. So this allows people to facilitate trade over the internet as money and have value. Okay, so we wanted to do that in such a way that was completely decentralized so that there was no central point of failure. Okay, so that is the core and initial beginning use case for blockchain, was straight up for money. Now, from that birthed so many great ideas, and blockchain has covered a variety of different use cases that is still being learned and developed as we speak. We have every day a new coin that comes out that aims to solve some problem that's out there in the world, whether it be medical records or banking or names or ideas. There's some out there for artificial intelligence. There's some out there for patents. There's a million different reasons and ways that blockchain can be used, and ultimately it's up to the people that use it. Or create it. So, we talked about how Bitcoin, it doesn't require validation by a government or a bank. So a typical transaction, it goes through a much different process. We've talked about public and private keys. If you haven't had a chance, go back and look at the other videos as we move forward. I want you to have a good solid understanding of what we're talking about moving into the academy. So a Bitcoin transaction basically is transmitted to the network. The request is picked up by what are called miners. They start to complete a math problem with their graphics processors or ASICs or computers, and the first person to solve the puzzle will start incorporating information into the block, which are then verified by other miners on the network, and they receive a reward in addition to the fees associated with that. And that's how Alice sends a Bitcoin to Bob. And I know that can be terribly confusing at first when you think about it, but the more that you dig into it and learn about the different use cases and ways that consensus is achieved, it's not as complicated as it may sound. It's basically you're transmitting a transaction to where millions of people can see it. So there's no way to lie about it because everybody can see what you're doing at one time. So if you try to lie to one person, all the other people are going to be there to say, nope, that didn't take place, or no, that's not how it went down. So it's like having a lot of witnesses all at one time. And this eliminates the need for us to trust one single person. And with that, we're going to get down and talk about the different applications that go beyond Bitcoin and the decentralized networks that different use cases can solve. And our first episode on this particular section is going to be on smart contracts. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. And thank you so much, and we'll talk to you then.